Hello, everybody. This is Catholic Dad, episode number 383. The Devil Speaks to the People You Love. So, why do I say this? Now, I'm Catholic Dad when I'm 44 years old now. I'm moving on in the years and I'm starting to get a little more life experience. I have 9 children. I'm a physician, radiologist, a lovely wife, a good marriage, beautiful children that I think are well formed. And I would like to say light of the world. I think they actually inspire other people to be good people. And well, anyway, so the devil speaks to the people you love. The number of times in my lifetime, by the way, and I'm just saying this because I just had a good friend tell me that I shouldn't have so many kids, or well, when are you going to be done? And I'm like, well, I don't know, when the good Lord says it's time. And then I can't tell you the number of times throughout my lifetime where people have given me personal advice about child rearing, about how to raise my children, about how many children I should have. I remember one individual in particular, really good buddy of mine, somebody I respect professionally for sure, and I believe is a good person, tell me that, I think it was when I had 4 healthy kids, you have 4 healthy kids, isn't that enough? What are you, greedy? And aren't you worried that one's going to get sick one day? Like, if you keep having kids, you're going to have a deformed one, well, no, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that any more than I'm worried about COVID. And even my family members, by the way, and I'm not even going to point out who they are, but one the other day mentioning that maybe I should be done having children, or maybe my young son who just got married to a wonderful bride, that maybe he should wait to have children. And I essentially said, I've been ignoring everybody's advice my entire life, and I'm not going to stop ignoring everybody's advice now. What I do is I pray, I meditate, and I live by the sacramental teachings of the church, and I try to be an obedient son and daughter of the church. There's going to be people out there, by the way, people you love, that are going to give you advice because what you're living will make them feel badly about themselves, makes them feel guilty that they're not praying enough, or makes them feel guilty that they're not, submitting enough to the will of God. And really, that's what family is, by the way. You marry a woman and you kind of love her, right? And when I had an old buddy back where I trained in medical school, he had 9 kids. And he said to me, "Hey, Catholic Dad, when you love a woman, kids just sort of happen." And so I think that's how I've tried to orient my life. I thought that was sage advice. But here's the funny part: is now that I'm getting older and older and older, it's difficult going through med school and residency. I was working as a chef while I was in med school, lots of hours, long hours, lots of reading. And then you have all these kids, and you have 9 kids, and you run a busy private practice, and so on and so forth. That's difficult. Yeah, I would say it's hard even, and I'm not complaining that I did it, but looking back on it, I feel like I'm standing at the top of the world right now because I have this family, which I would say is beautiful, an inspiration of the world, and um, and I've ignored pretty much everybody's advice that it's ever given it to me on child rearing, on stop like child planning, natural family planning, all the I call it natural family unplanning. You just go love your wife, you love your spouse, and you make the best out of it, and you work hard, and you don't stop working hard. Sometimes my wife, she says, "Oh, this is so hard, it's difficult, I don't know if I can make it through." And I say to her, "Come on, baby, you know, you and I, we're going to get through this together, and then we'll be dead." And that's true. We will be dead. What is life supposed to be easy? I think probably the curse of the Garden of Eden was we're supposed to toil. Child rearing is supposed to be hard. Working is supposed to be difficult. But you're supposed to do it. That's kind of the curse of the fallen nature of man. Now, if you could pick that cross up, right? Like that's the passion of the Lord. You pick your cross up, you carry it up the hill, and one day you're going to die for being a good person. And so I guess that's all I wanted you to think about. The devil will talk to you, whether it's from your parents, your siblings, your best friend, your aunts, your uncles, people you admire. They will give you crappy advice time and time and time and time again. And sometimes it's evil advice. So really, don't necessarily take people's advice. And I must say, unfettered advice or like unwanted advice is probably the worst type of advice. Anyway, I guess that's all I have to say to you. I did have one more thing. It's I've said this before too. The worst parenting advice you'll ever get is from your parents, because, and by the way, I'm not saying my parents give me bad parenting advice, but they give you advice of how they raise their children. assuming it's going to work for your children. It just doesn't work for everybody's children, particularly your children. And sometimes they may have done it poorly to begin with, right? And so what works for you as a parent is this. Realize you have all the tools that you need, that God gave you. You don't need all sorts of crazy tricks and gimmicks. You love your kids. You work hard. You live a sacramental life. Don't abuse drugs. Come home to your spouse and be nice to her. That's it. And raising kids will be different, like, because every kid has a different temperament. Every kid has a different personality. And so when, some kids you could be hard on, you could really discipline hard, and other kids just don't respond to that. And you have to just win them over with love. And so I guess that's all I want to say. The devil talks to the people you love very dearly. And so if you ever feel like you're getting bad advice, you probably are. That's the time to pray and maybe get some priestly advice. This is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get the Mass, and pray the daily rosary. God bless you all. Take care.